This story is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Reporting My Pool Guy to His Supervisor? For what should have been a normal Wednesday, it's been anything but. I've been cleaning up messes all day, and it's related specifically to my story. So here it goes. Yesterday afternoon, I received a text from my pool service that my pool filter needed cleaning. So, okay, I said they could come by tomorrow morning. Wednesday morning rolls around and I'm napping after dropping off my daughter at school. I'm passed out tired as I've been sick with bronchitis and have bruised ribs and a very painful back. I knew the pool guy was coming, so while I napped, I made sure my 2 puppies were inside so as to not disturb him. I woke up to a call on my phone and it's from the pool guy telling me he was just here and that I needed a $600 panel for my filter to turn on properly. I politely declined and reminded him that he was only there to clean the filter. He proceeded with a very rude undertone and told me my pool will turn green with algae because he didn't know how to turn the filter on. I let him know that my husband knows how to manually turn it on and will proceed to do so when he's home from work today. He rudely acknowledged this and hung up on me. I got up and put my puppies outside in the backyard to potty. They're 8 months old. We have a gate that separates the pool from where the sand yard is. I wait about 15 minutes before I come to the door and let them back in. To my surprise and horror, they come running back to my house covered in mud. How can this be? I've not let any water in the backyard. I put both mud puppies in their crates to try to minimize any more mud damage to my family room and kitchen, and then head out to see what's going on. I walk to where my pool filter is and see the valve had been left open and water is spraying out, in turn draining my pool. Okay. My backyard had become a giant mud puddle and a large amount of water had drained from my pool. Here in Texas, it's been consistently over 100 degrees every day here most of the summer, and our water bill took a hit. I called the pool guy and told him what was going on. He proceeded to tell me how to shut off the valve, and then his only words after that were, "Oops, I must have left it on." I told him all of the mud mess my puppies had made in my house, the huge mud puddle in my backyard, and the drained water from the pool. On top of that, I'm very sick and he's made a huge mess for me to clean up. There were no other words out of his mouth. Me being angry at this point was an understatement. I proceeded to call the company and talk to his supervisor, as well as leave a detailed text to them explaining the whole story. What could have been a quiet Wednesday where I could rest from being sick had turned into a huge mess. I requested that they refund me for the service, as all the work I had to do was way more expensive than the almost hour he was there. My mom thinks he left the valve on purpose, as he was angry at me for declining the expensive additional service. Part of me really agrees with her. Also, looking at it, if I wasn't home and this happened, I would have so much damage to my yard. The entire pool could have drained into my yard and also others around me. It would have affected a very large amount of things that would have been damaging and possibly drowned my tortoise, or the chlorine could have made them sick, as their enclosure is outside. What do you think? The question is, am I the astronaut for reporting my pool guy to his supervisor? Hell no. That's about the minimum of the action that I think you're warranted at right now. You're in legal action territory. And again, this is not legal advice because I have no legal experience whatsoever, and I am not qualified to give that. However, if someone had done this to me, there would be some definite action going on, and they would be fixing everything to make up for it. Here's the problem. If you have an in-ground pool and you drain almost all of the water out of it, unless it has a hydrostatic pump underneath it, that pool will pop out of the ground. Don't ask me how I know, but I can tell you it's not pretty and it's really difficult to fix. Almost impossible. There could be more damage than you even know right now, OP. This is something that they are going to have to come inspect, or you have an independent inspector come, and this seems malicious, or this is ignorance. Either way, it's not okay. It's not okay for this guy to be shady like this and then to have done this kind of damage and take no accountability for it whatsoever. You talked to the supervisor, you sent them a message, but there needs to be more action taken here because there's damage to your yard at this point. I don't know how much you have invested in your yard, if you've done sod or if you've seeded or anything like that, but that's potentially damaged. They potentially popped your pool out if you don't even know it yet. It could still happen after you get water back into it. If there's more water in the ground than there is in your pool, that's where the whole empty cup in the bathtub thing happens, and boop, it can be really, really bad. It is definitely worth another phone call to say, hey, this is unacceptable, and not just refund the money, but it may be more than that. Maybe you need to have an independent person come out and survey damage and then talk to an attorney. I don't know, but this is 100% not okay for them to do this. It's not okay for a service individual to treat you like this, and it's Google review worthy. I'll tell you that much. And if you leave them a review detailing everything that happened there, there's a lot better likelihood that they're actually going to do something about it. Now, this is one service tech, not the entire company, right? So I would give the company an opportunity to make it right. Because one person doing something stupid can ruin things for an entire company. Give them the opportunity to make it right. And if they don't, then it's time for more drastic action.